In the year 1919 in Eastern Europe, a Jewish man named Herschel is making an honest effort to get by while filling in as a trench digger. The occupation doesn't pay well overall, and the minimal expenditure he gets should be spent on purchasing new digging tools since they break frequently. Herschel thinks his life sucks until he meets Sarah while she's grumbling about the cost of fish on the lookout. He attempts to talk as far as she might be concerned, yet she leaves exceptionally irritated. Anyway, Herschel doesn't surrender and buckles down until he sets aside sufficient cash to purchase her some great fish. When Sarah has her most memorable chomp, she acknowledges to spend time with Herschel. Both of them start hanging out and find they share a great deal for all intents and purpose, similar to the way that both their folks were killed by Russian Cossacks. They frequently visit Sarah's #1 spot in the forest, and she admits that her most prominent wishes to have the option to bear the cost of their own headstone one day. Consequently, Herschel says he longs for a tempting seltzer water. A couple of months after the fact, they at last get hitched, yet at the same tragically their plans for another life get demolished when the Russian Cossacks assault the town. There is no possibility to have a future in their town after the area is totally obliterated, so Herschel and Sarah move to the USA. Herschel thinks the Americans are great and treat them better than the Russians, not seeing yet that individuals allude to him utilizing xenophobic terms. Before long, he finds a new line of work at a pickle plant, where he procures a nickel for each 10 rodents he kills. Months pass, and by working very hard hunting rodents, Herschel figures out how to purchase 2 graves so the couple can be together even later. Demise. Right away subsequently, Sarah gets pregnant, and Herschel guarantees their kid will areas of strength for B. What's more, effective. One day, while pursuing a few tricky rodents, Herschel regards himself as encircled. What's more, inadvertently slips, falling into an immense tank of pickles. To exacerbate the situation, at that second, they declare the processing plant is being shut on account of sterile reasons. All tanks are covered. Furthermore, Herschel is left stuck inside. 100 years pass, it's currently 2019 and the plant building has been deserted since the conclusion. At some point, 2 youngsters are wasting time nearby with a robot that incidentally winds up going into the production line, taking out the tank's top. The teenagers go inside to search for itself, and when they wrap up moving the top, abruptly Herschel sits up, waking up. Furthermore, minutes after the fact, the entire city is discussing Herschel. In a question and answer session, researchers make sense of why Herschel is impeccably monitored, and everybody acknowledges it as consistent. A while later, Herschel is taken to the clinic for an examination and is viewed as in entirely great shape. In any case, when he hears that Sarah is dead, he will not trust it and gets fierce, so they should tie him to the cot. After an exhaustive individual verification is finished, Herschel is educated that he has one relative left that lives in Brooklyn and has acknowledged to come get him. Minutes after the fact, Herschel meets his incredible grandson Ben, who looks basically indistinguishable from him. The men share an embrace at the point when they understand they at long last have a relative once more. Then Herschel emerges from the structure. Also, gets to really take a gander at the city, interestingly, ending up in odd shock at how much the world has changed. At the point when Ben stops a taxi, Herschel at first gets surprised and thinks he should battle, however Ben rapidly directs him to get into the vehicle. When they arrive at Ben's condo, Herschel is significantly more stunned. Ben is simply working class, however Herschel thinks his incredible grandson lives in extravagance, particularly when he hears he claims 25 sets of socks. Ben welcomes him to yet again stay however long he really wants and offers Herschel something to drink, stunning him when he offers seltzer water. There's a machine in the kitchen to make it without any preparation, and Ben guides Herschel to press the button, which invigorates the elderly person. Then he will taste it for the first time ever, which leaves Herschel exceptionally blissful. Next, Ben makes Alexa play an old tune, and after some dithering, Herschel joins the ridiculous dance just to have a good time. A short time later, they go through the evening out in the city, evaluating a wide range of food and advancements. Herschel is mistaken for a fashionable person. What's more, is stunned to see interracial couples around. At the point when they return to the loft, Herschel inquires Ben how he helps work, expecting that he's something significant like a specialist or a legal counselor. Anyway, Ben is really an independent application engineer, and he gets his tablet to show Herschel how his innovation works. For the beyond 5 years, Ben has been chipping away at an application called BoopBop, which is a help that checks organizations' morals while purchasing their items. Ben hasn't sent it to any expected financial backers yet on the grounds that it isn't prepared. He's actually going off the deep end about certain subtleties, as the shades of the logo. Unexpectedly, Herschel inquires as to whether the man on the David Bowie banner is his father. Furthermore, when Ben says no, Herschel asks why he sees no photos of the family anyplace. Ben takes out an old family photograph collection, which gets Herschel extremely profound. Subsequent to seeing Sarah's image, he finds she had a child. Then, at that point, he tracks down the cutting-edge pictures and gets some information about his folks. Ben gets awkward and makes sense of that they died in a mishap, so Herschel says they ought to go to the graveyard to petition God for their spirits. Ben gets awkward once more. It isn't a to make sense of he strict person, which frustrates Herschel. Feeling awful for the elderly person, the following day Ben takes Herschel to see the family graves. However, Herschel is crushed to find that the burial ground is wrecked. He can't resist the urge to cry at seeing Sarah's unwanted gravestone and starts appealing to God for her, requesting that Ben go along with him. Anyway, Ben likes to see his telephone. At that point, a few laborers make an appearance to set up a bulletin of Russian vodka right on top of the graves. Seeing the word vodka makes Herschel believe that the Cossacks that annihilated his house are doing this, which makes him incensed as he stands up to the specialists to request that they stop. Clearly the specialists disregard him, which makes Herschel much angrier, and he winds up going after the men. He thumps up the initial not many folks. Before long, yet soon he's encircled, and when Ben attempts to stop them he gets whipped as well. This episode winds up with the pair being captured, and Ben needs to burn through an enormous amount of cash to bail them out. At the point when they return to the condo, Herschel demands he needs to bring the bulletin down, and Ben advises him that would cost cash he doesn't have. A contention results, and Herschel infers Ben is a quitter that is postponing the introduction of his application by coming up with pardons. Insulted, Ben sends a couple of messages, and he's stunned to find a potential financial backer requesting a gathering. Soon thereafter, Ben goes to see the financial backers, yet he's turned down. They like Ben's creation, but Ben's crook report is all around the web, and he makes for a terrible face to address an application in view of the morals behind finance managers. At the point when he gets back, Ben faults Herschel for making his life go downhill. Herschel doesn't comprehend Ben's thoughts and cases that they ought to begin a pickle business, all things considered, making Ben so irate that he says that Sarah would be embarrassed about Herschel at this moment. He moreover calls attention to it's simple for Herschel to talk, however he can do nothing in this cutting-edge world without Ben. Hurt by this multitude of allegations, Herschel pledges to fabricate a pickle realm with no assistance. What's more, make his dead family members glad by chopping down the announcement. Prior to leaving, Herschel tells Ben he's ashamed to the family name. A while later, Herschel goes to the supermarket to purchase cucumbers, yet they are excessively costly. While meandering around attempting to consider something, he sees that the receptacle beyond the store has pressed cucumbers in it. He quickly snatches them. Furthermore, gets a thought, he starts looking through every one of the dumpsters around the city, gathering containers, salt. Furthermore, irregular parts of make his own special truck. He places the cucumbers in the containers and lets the downpour top them off, at long last making pickles. In a little while, Herschel sets up a pickle stand by the side. Goes to see the financial backers, yet he's turned down. They like Ben's creation, but Ben's crook report is all around the web, and he makes for a terrible face to address an application in view of the morals behind finance managers. At the point when he gets back, Ben faults Herschel for making his life go downhill. Herschel doesn't comprehend Ben's thoughts and cases that they ought to begin a pickle business, all things considered, making Ben so irate that he says that Sarah would be embarrassed about Herschel at this moment. He moreover calls attention to it's simple for Herschel to talk, however he can do nothing in this cutting-edge world without Ben. Hurt by this multitude of allegations, Herschel pledges to fabricate a pickle realm with no assistance. What's more, make his dead family members glad by chopping down the announcement. Prior to leaving, Herschel tells Ben he's ashamed to the family name. A while later, Herschel goes to the supermarket to purchase cucumbers, yet they are excessively costly. While meandering around attempting to consider something, he sees that the receptacle beyond the store has pressed cucumbers in it. He quickly snatches them. Furthermore, gets a thought, he starts looking through every one of the dumpsters around the city, gathering containers, salt. Furthermore, irregular parts of make his own special truck. He places the cucumbers in the containers and lets the downpour top them off, at long last making pickles. In a little while, Herschel sets up a pickle stand by the side of the street. Two people are promptly drawn to his item since it's all nearby, regular. What's more, extremely modest, they're additionally exceptionally entertained by Herschel's eccentric quirks like the reality. He believes the clients should bring the containers back. He does this to Herschel opens it to find a drawing that Ben made of his folks as a youngster, referring to them as Boop. Furthermore, Bop. It is then that Herschel understands that Ben had without exception needed to respect his folks back. In the temple, Ben is approached by the men to go along with them for petition since they're missing one for the customary custom. Ben acknowledges out of commitment, just to get profound when he hears petitions that offer appreciation to dead relatives. Abruptly, Herschel shows up before Ben and apologizes for his activities, saying that Ben is precisely exact thing he needed his relatives to be and that his folks should be pleased with him. Ben apologizes too, and after they accommodate, they go to visit Sarah's #1 spot, which isn't quite so lovely as it used to be. They concur their next business should be done all together. Herschel will pickle more than just cucumbers while Ben does the web-based promoting so they can sell around the world. In a little while, the pair. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe to this channel and turn on the notification button for a quick notification anytime a new video is uploaded. Click the next video appearing on your screen and you will be surprised what you will watch there for your enjoyment. Thank you. I love you.